Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 23 of Coaching Connections. Now today we have a very special player edition, and we had a chance to talk to Mr. Chris Ross and Mr. Ben Uzoh, two San Antonio natives, two San Antonio legends, both played their high school ball here in town and have since had outstanding careers. These two guys are just very humble and genuine people. If you ever get a chance to meet them and know them in person, you have a good idea of what I'm talking about. Mr. Chris Ross plays out in the Philippines and is having himself a heck of a career. You're talking about championships and just playing at a very high level. Ben Uzoh spent some time in the NBA. He spent some time overseas, played in the Nigerian National Team where he competed in the Olympic Games in 2016, and they just qualified again for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, but the pandemic is putting a pause on some of those plans. We had a great conversation talking about their journeys through the profession, people that have helped them along the way, and their love for the game, including some of the favorite NBA players and top favorite shoes of all time. So we just had a blast talking. I hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I did. Episode 23, Ben Uzoh, Chris Ross. Let's get after it. What's up, Chris?
What up, bro? You can hear me?
Yeah. How it sound good over there?
Nice and clear.
Good.
What's good with you?
Chilling, man. Just chilling. Just trying to stay healthy my wife, we bought a Peloton like 2 months ago.
How's that going?
It was on back order, and so we paid for this thing way back when, and it finally came in this morning, so I set it up, and we gave it a little spin this morning. That was legit.
Yeah.
It was legit.
Damn, 2 months back order?
I tell you, I guess everybody, once we went on lockdown, everybody was buying Pelotons or something.
Yeah.
What up, Mark?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Can you hear him, Chris?
Yeah. Where you at, Uz?
What's up, Rico?
Where you at, bro?
Man, I just got the Phoenix, boy.
You in Phoenix?
Yeah. You good?
Looks like an airport. I thought you were in the airport.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was gonna have enough time to land and get to where I was getting to, but I guess the time difference. It's after 1 over there, right?
Right now it's 2 o'clock, 2:18.
It's 2:18 in the time?
Yeah.
Oh, see, yeah, my bad. See, I thought it was 1 hour difference.
Yeah. You good? Well, I appreciate you making it happen anyway. Much love, bro.
Nah, you good.
Well,
you
then
good.
he disappeared on us.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. You see me now, though.
Yeah. Are you good?
All right.
Well, we can jump right in, man. I appreciate you guys taking time to hop on and talk about life and talk about hoops and some influences in your life, coaches or whatever. Usually we have coaches on here talking about, the impactful relationships that they can have on kids or the players and the other people they work with. But in this case, I like to also get some players on and get their perspective, how some people have affected some positive changes in their life and talk about their journey and whatnot. So I appreciate y'all.
Yep.
No doubt.
So I know me and Chris been talking a little bit, but we can kind of do it officially. How you guys been holding up? What y'all been doing to, keep yourselves busy, stay sane during all these crazy times?
For me, in the Philippines, we're on strict lockdown out there, and I think it was around like 85 days where we had to be in the house. We can only leave once a week for groceries. So I was just trying to find a way to stay in shape any way I could. I live in like a little gated community, so they were letting us run a little bit outside. So I started doing like distance running and ordered a pair of dumbbells and a kettlebell. Got into yoga a little bit, so I was just trying to switch up my routine a little bit from what I was used to, and it was cool. But just being stuck in the house like that, it's taxing. So you got to try to stay mentally strong more than anything.
Yep. What about you, Ben?
Man, shoot, it's been all hands on deck as far as just with the family. I got family that's in Dallas and San Antonio. So I kind of just been in and out, just making sure things is okay on that side on the home front. But like Chris saying, just trying to just stay with keep up with the diet and the workout regimen. I've been running outside a couple miles here and there. I found a couple hills to get a tattoo. It's kind of been a blessing in disguise. I think I talked to Chris. He shared it with me. The body's kind of been able to rest a little bit. It's been more of a rest period. You know, you can't really train as hard or as rigorous as you normally would. But so it's kind of been a balance of both worlds, rest and then trying to just actually like keep up and keep at it a little bit. So
Yeah. And for guys like you guys that you know, and coaches too, but you guys, you know, traveling the world playing ball, you pretty busy. You know, it gives you time to kind of slow down and hang out with your loved ones, for sure.
It's tough. It was tough for me because I'm on the other side of the world, and all my immediate family is in Texas, right, in the States. So, me and Ben had talked about it. It was good to get your body a rest and kind of stay away from basketball and recover. Because with us, we play damn near 11, 12 months out of the year. We're playing all year round. So, but with the family thing, it was tough for me because not knowing the situation they were in, being on the other side of the world, just trying to talk to them as much as I could on FaceTime. It was hard, but we got through it.
Let's talk about your childhood. You know, I know you guys, but not everybody does, right? So where'd you grow up? What was it like? And what kind of influences did you have early in your life, in your childhood part of your life, you know, coming up?
For me, my dad's a military guy, so I grew up on Lackland Air Force Base. I was born on Lackland Air Force Base. Grew up there, was the youngest of 3 kids, so I always had the elder influences on me. My brother's 6 years older than I am. My sister's 3 years older than I am. And they were always in sports. My dad played in as many base leagues that he could, and I was always at the gym with him, 2, 3 years old, on the side trying to shoot on a 10-foot goal. Whether they be on the baseball field, I'm out there on the baseball field, football field. Like, I was just always around sports growing up on base. You know how it is on base. They have their own. It's like their own little community. They have all types of youth sports and stuff like that. So I was always around sports growing up, and it was just something that like I never remember watching cartoons as a young boy. I just always remember being around sports and falling in love with it. So like my dad and my brother and also my sister were like they were great people for me to look up to because they had their head on straight. They were always in the athletics and staying away from trouble. On base, you can't really get in trouble, so we stayed away from that. And still to this day, those are people I still look up to, whether it be not more so sports, but just in life general. So they've been great for me as the youngest. I've had those people to look up to that kind of made my life as easy as I could.
man, for me, I was born in Houston, and I started playing sports when I got to San Antonio. I moved to San Antonio at age 8 or 9, second or third grade, and when I was in Houston, I took a liking to just always watching the Rockets play. And they had a fellow Nigerian cat on the team, you know, Hakeem the Dream. He's a legend now, so he sparked my interest to pick up a ball. And you know, my parents did as best as they could to try to support that you know, early bud and dream or whatever the case may be. You know, they bought me like a Hakeem jersey and, you know, like a Fisher Price that I think everybody starts it with when they're, you know, young. So coming to San Antonio, I just brought that love from Houston on over. And then obviously just my parents being influences in my life. My sister, I got an older sister that's a great influence as well. We just kind of just started getting acclimated in the San Antonio community. I had a really good childhood friend who literally would pick me up because my parents they were working and they couldn't pick me up from school. They couldn't pick us up from like practices and stuff. So I had a he's like a god brother. His name Eddie Hawkins. His family, the Hawkins family, was a great family. Early on, like that 3rd through like 8th grade, I just started growing, and the love of the game started growing. He would pick me up, and we would go. We started playing on the YMCA around town, and we started every year we were playing the East Side Y at the David Scott. So I grew up playing and honing my skills on the East Side, although I lived on the Northwest side. And at that time, the East Side was getting more as far as like more credible as far as like, you got it. It's tougher guys. It's, and I didn't know at that age. I just was like, shoot, wherever we go play, I want to go play. But it's dope to see things come full circle in the sense of like how things is like, how it started to like how it grew, and then different people that had their hand in helping you get to where you wanted to get. So that's kind of like my story.
Yeah. A lot of times we'll talk about a coach's journey. How'd you get into the profession? And moving around, working the way up to become head coaches or whatever the place they're at. But you guys are still playing and hooping. Talk a little bit about your journey as far as college, high school, professional teams you played for, and kind of up to where you're at now.
Go ahead, Uzoh.
I started in high school. I was a freshman in high school at Warren. I was on the freshman team.
How big was you?
Man, so I was about 5'3" as a freshman when I entered it.
Yeah.
No lie. I was little, man, and I was really like the weird looking kid that everybody was probably like pointing at, like either making fun of to say like, man, either his shoes are too big or his arms are too long.
Yeah.
And I hadn't grew yet. And it was only a matter of time. I felt like I looked normal to everybody, but I don't think it was the case on the outside looking in. So, man, sophomore year, I get like 5'7"-ish, 5'8". I have a death in my family. My mom's dad died, and I'm on varsity. And she's like, "We taking you and your sister out of school, and we gotta go pay homage and respect to grandpa." So like this is like second half of district. I'm 5'7". We do the burial service. We were a month away out of school. I come back and I'm like, no BS. I'm like 6 feet. And that was like my biggest growth spurt. And then, high school was just a great experience. Junior year, senior year was magical. I was fortunate enough to play well, to get like obviously looks and stuff. I played well enough in a tournament against DJ Augustine in high school. Ross, you remember playing in the Rotary?
Yeah.
So we had the San Antonio Rotary where Houston teams, Maryland teams, Dallas teams would come and play. And that was like a big target for, anybody who was in the city that wanted to make noise, And I had that tournament scheduled, and I had a really good game against DJ Augustine's team. And we ended up winning. And I remember my schools going from maybe like 2 to 3 like Southland Conference schools to like literally like 5 to 6 mid to high major D1 schools just right after that tournament. And one of the schools was Tulsa. One of the first schools was Tulsa. I'll never forget. They called me right after the tournament on a Monday. We finished playing on a Saturday. They called me on a Monday, and it just from then on, I just had like a great momentum. I would end up being like a rising senior, but I kept my I wanted to keep my loyalty to Tulsa because they were one of the first schools to get on me, and they were obviously one of the teams that was going to let me play the point guard position. Ross, as you know, like you could get away with playing multiple positions in the tone because we don't have crazy size, we don't have crazy length. But if you're 6'3", you could potentially be like, exactly 1 through 5. So that's what I was at for my school. But I knew I needed to like be more specific, position specific, like when I wanted to go to college or even beyond that. So I started working on my game at Tulsa, and ended up being a great fit from the get out. And I won't be long winded, but Tulsa, we were really good as far as doing it the right way, from nutrition to working out, and we had a great vision as far as what the coaches implemented in our team. And we had guys that we recruited, and then we just won. And so helping us win, and me being at the right position and doing certain things a little dynamic as far as like from the point guard spot in college, I was then able to kind of like garner the attention to be able to play overseas, and then even have a chance to play in the NBA. And I look back on that opportunity, just how it came to fruition. Like, I never worked so hard in all of my life, just having to, like, after I graduated, to now be in the pre-draft process, just having to, like, just lock in, just eat right. Ain't had no money, so I was just like, all right, I gotta make this work. It's like trying to get places and, traveling and trying to meet certain workouts. But I ended up playing 2 years in the league, my first 2 years out, with a couple stints in the G League. Like my third year, I played in the G League. Fourth year, played in the G League.
Hey, you're a little older. It was the D League back then, bro.
Yeah. So it was the D League back then, man. And they've since got a great sponsorship in Gatorade. So now they the G now, but those 4 years, those first 4 years of my career were great 4 years as far as just helping me understand how to be a pro, how to work, how to like understand on and off the course, just life situations. I think the biggest takeaway is that you still learning as a man, even though you probably like are on the outside being looked at as like you've got a lot of life figured out. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think just as far as just the way I had to like maneuver towards handling family and tweaking things as far as friendships and understanding where, like how much more tighter my circle had to be and smarter my circle had to be, right? And I think Chris could take attest to this as well, is that's something that you kind of continue to tweak as you go through the ranks, as far as like where you go, where you play, and things like that. And I've been in certain different places since then. Since playing in the States, I played in Mexico, I played in France, I played in Belgium, I played in the Dominican Republic, and obviously more here recently with my national team. That is
With Austin.
I think he'll come back in.
Yeah. He's a little older, but he's still not as old as us, Chris.
Hey, he's getting close though.
Yeah.
He's knocking on the door.
So I mean, he was 5'3" as a freshman, he said?
I remember being at Jay, and Ben used to come to our open gyms. And when I tell you he was little, but all arms and legs. Just tiny. Couldn't even get on the court.
Yeah.
Like at Jay, we got the big gym and the small gym. He was going in the small gym.
Yeah.
Little dude, like, but you can tell he had the skill set.
Yeah.
But he was just so small. And then I remember the next maybe 2 months we saw him, he was already like 6 feet, like, and just
crazy.
coming into his own.
So what? He's about 6'4", 6'5"?
Ben's about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", but long 7 foot wingspan. Yeah. When
he guards you, he's a problem just because he's got long arms and he can move.
He's elite defensively. But I'll talk about my journey. So Ben was talking about going to the east side, to the Davis Scott. I did that as well. I mean, a lot of us from our side of town, we went on that side of town and played with guys like Eric Dawson and
Yep.
Ivan Johnson, guys like that. And it was just we always had tournaments with guys from like Dallas come in, Houston come in, and we held our own, and that's how we kind of made a name for ourselves. I made a name for myself in the city. And then coming into high school, I was, like I told you before, I was always around basketball, football, baseball. Tried to run track in middle school, but I stopped running track because I grew. I grew my seventh grade year. My seventh grade year, I was about 5'2", 5'3", and then coming back into school, that my eighth grade year, I was about 5'11". So I had like a 6-7 inch growth spurt that summer, and it cut my track season short because I grew, and then I got this Oscar Slaughters in my knee, and they pretty much told me like, you need to stop running right now. You need to let your bones grow. You're growing too fast. So I went from being one of the smallest PGs in our district to being one of the bigger ones. And then coming into high school, I was it was weird because you know how we have such pride at going to John Jay, like people from my side. O'Connor was just opening up, and I was like, man, I don't know where y'all heard I was going to O'Connor, but I'm Jay blood through and through. So I'm coming to Jay. So freshman year, I played football, so had a good football season. Basketball season came. Everyone kind of knew that I wasn't going to play freshman basketball. I think I played one game on the freshman team, and my coach moved me up to JV. Yeah. But you know how Jay is. Like, we're stacked on varsity. We were stacked I think that was like 2000 through around the 2000 era, where we were just stacked. We were going to state. So it was tough to get on that varsity team. I didn't start getting minutes on varsity till my junior year. I played JV my freshman and sophomore year. I was on varsity my sophomore year, but I was just there to get the experience. I didn't get any minutes. Yeah. I was always playing on JV. I had a varsity jersey playing on JV. That's how we worked it back then.
You were that guy. Yeah. Yeah,
I was that guy. So my sophomore year was on JV again, but football was on varsity. The varsity football team my freshman year went 0-10, and they were thinking about moving. We had 3 really good freshmen, and they were thinking about moving us up to varsity to play the last 3 or 4 games. And then they nixed that because they were like, man, there's no point. We're 0-8 right now. There's no point to move y'all up. We'll just wait for next year. So the sophomore year, I get moved to varsity. I'm starting quarterback, starting corner. I started at quarterback and corner my sophomore year. We actually were doing well. We went from 0-10. What up, Ruth?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
0-10 my freshman year to we were 6-2 my sophomore year, and then I broke my collarbone. And we lost the remaining games. Had a good sophomore AAU campaign. I played with Gata. I think Gata's still running. Might be still running right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Played with Gata. We had a good sophomore campaign. Then my junior year, I get moved up. I'm on varsity, getting heavy minutes, and this was the team that we thought, like, we knew that we could make noise running for state. And we had all the tools. We weren't very deep. We went like 6-7 deep, 7. At times we could go 8 deep, but really coach wanted to play 6-7 guys. Yeah. And the thing that people don't know about that team, like we were the, when you get to state, they rank you by your record. So if you have 35-1, you're the 1 seed. If you're 27-8, you're the 4 seed. Yeah. In between, and we were going into state, we were 25-8 or something, but we had so many losses because our team was never full. Like, Pat was transferring back. Pat Fields was transferring back in from Taft, so he was ineligible for some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Our Chris B was our center, and he had tore his meniscus, and he was out for some games. And I came ineligible, so I was out for some games. So we were like, when we had our full team, I think we lost 2 times the whole season when we had our full team. So going into the state tournament our junior year, we were matched up with Hightower, and Hightower was stacked coming in. They were like,
oh, you got a Hightower story. I didn't. Fort Bend Hightower out of Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where DJ
they had
went.
Ume. You played with Ume on the national team, right?
Yeah.
Ume was over there. They might have had 5-6 high level D1 guys. Like, just Uz, you've been to state, so at state they give you court time. Both teams are on the court at the same time. They was out there like looking like an NBA squad, like 6'10". They had a 6'11", 300-pound dude. They had 6'9", 6'8". But they had like 5-6 high-level D1 guys, and we were confident. Like, our team was confident because we knew we could just coming up playing in the Davis Scott, like teams from Houston coming in all the time, teams from Dallas coming in all the time. We knew we could play with these teams. Man, we got out the gates on them quick. They were trying to press us, and me and Pat were just dribbling through the press. I was cutting up the press, diamond, and we got up like I think Hightower was 33-2 that year, and we got up 18 on them. We were blowing them out the water, and they made it close. I think we ended up winning by 11, but like that game was not close at all. Like, we blew them out the water.
Yeah.
And they had no clue because we were this team that no one really paid attention to. 25-8 coming into the state tournament. They were high. They're on their high horse, thinking that they were gonna blow us out the water. We blew them dudes out. Going into the state game, we played Dallas Kimball, and Dallas Kimball and Jay we have a history. Every time we've been to state, Dallas Kimball pretty much knocks us out.
So y'all have a prior history before the famous.
We had a prior history. Like, yeah. I think in 95, we beat Jay with Sasser. They can zero Sasser, and then I think again in 2000 or 99, Kimball beat Jay again. So they had knocked us out two of the three times that we had been to state, and we match up with them in the state final. And they had AC Law. AC Law was their guy. I think he was a lottery pick with the Hawks.
Yep.
I think you covered this. I watched one of your coaches' corner where you covered our state championship, and we were down 2. I got the rebound, dribbled through, made the half-court shot, and it was my only bucket of the tournament. But I was sick. Like, the whole tournament, I was at halftime. I was taking off, my body was overheating. I was under the weather, feeling sick. I just remember like being at halftime of the state game, just falling on the floor, taking off my jersey, taking off my shorts, just exhausted.
Yeah.
And like, I had no clue. Like it was we were a team of destiny because Steve Goff, he was one of our better players.
Man, he balled that night.
He was
a problem that night.
And that tipping he made before the shot, the left hand, that was tough.
I think Steve in the semifinal game had 27, and then in the final game had 25. And Steve is all, y'all seen Steve? Steve is all a 6'7", 170.
Yeah.
Yep, even still.
Been built like that since whenever, 170. And so Steve's grandmother had passed away right before the tournament, and Steve didn't join any of our practices heading up to the state tournament. And he was in, I think his grandma was in Alabama or one of those southern states, and Steve met us in Austin. So we were saying that we're a team of destiny because I was sick that tournament, and I don't know how I got the ball to double clutch it and get it to the rim from half court. Like, it still blows my mind to this day. Like,
It just kind of all came together.
Everything just came together. Like, we were a team of destiny. Like I said, we were never together. Our team was never together the whole time, and then everything just kind of came together, and it was a thing of beauty. But that was junior year. I had a really good football season too. I made all city football and basketball. I made all city. I made all district. I made all state basketball. And then my junior year summer, I played for Texas Blue Chips, Adidas team sponsored out of Dallas. And I had a good summer with them, and was getting some looks. But the thing that where I messed up at was I stopped playing with them, and I stopped playing with them, and I went to this camp, a camp my junior year summer in LA. And I spent the whole summer in LA with college guys, some pro guys.
What kind of camp? Was it football or basketball?
It was a basketball camp.
Okay.
It was with like some of the guys from the East Side, Jock, my guy Buck, Smitty was there. Smitty was kind of the overseer of it. He kind of kept it distance because you know how it is with agents and amateurs. But Smitty was around, and so they took me out to LA, and I spent my summer in LA, and I was kind of torn because it was like, do I want to do this summer camp in LA with these guys that are where I want to be at, or do I want to play with the Blue Chips? And I was just getting an invite to the ABCD camp. Mm-hmm. It was like, man, what do you want to do? You want to go to this ABCD camp? You want to play on this Adidas circuit, or do you want to go to this camp and be around these guys that are already there, some guys that are already working? Like, there's some pros there. So I chose the LA thing. And then so I kind of fell off the recruiting radar a little bit because I just stopped playing on the Adidas circuit. And then coming into my senior year, football's first. I had a real good senior year football. I had maybe around 10 D1 offers for football.
Oh.
And basketball was slow. I had a Southland, like Uzoh said. I had A&M Corpus back when they were independent. Mm-hmm. And but those D1 football, all the facilities were looking amazing. I went on 5 visits. They were looking amazing, and it was bad timing because none of them wanted to wait until my basketball season. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to sign right after football season. I was like, man, the way my basketball season I just had, my junior year, I can't just sell myself short. So I want to play the senior year out. None of them wanted to wait.
Right.
So played out my senior year basketball, and then at the end of my senior year, all I had was A&M Corpus and St. Mary's in San Antonio. And so I went the JUCO route. And my first year JUCO was at Panola in East Texas, and I led the nation in assists. I averaged 15 and 13 my freshman year. So that had some D1s coming at me, and the coach knew that I was a qualifier coming out of high school, so I only had to stay 1 year JUCO. And I think the biggest school I had at the time coming out was St. Mary's, California, and this was the time when Adam Morrison was at Gonzaga, and they were rivals. So they wanted me to come in and be a part of that rival, and the coach loved me, man. Like, the coach fell in love with me, watched me play, fell in love with me. But I went on a visit out there, and I didn't see myself. Like, the facilities were old. Like, for me, thinking like me going to these football facilities, all big D1s, yeah, and then seeing this St. Mary's facilities, I was like, man, it's too big of a difference. I was like, man, I feel like I can get somewhere higher. So I went back to JUCO. I transferred JUCOs. I went to McLennan in Waco my second year, and I had University of Houston came on me, Marshall came on me, and St. Mary's was there as well. I was going to commit to Houston because my brother was going to school out there. But right when I was about to commit, the coach got fired. So that happened, and then I ended up signing at Marshall, and Marshall was great. Who's left this out of his story? My senior year, his freshman year, we're in the same conference. We went head to head, and I think we split, but it was a good. It was some good battles. He left that off, but I won't leave it off.
Y'all had to guard each other?
Yeah, we guarded each other. He was playing the PG, I was playing the PG, but I was a senior, he was a freshman, but I was when he was coming into his own already. So
it was it's funny because as soon as he went and as soon as I signed in college, I'm like, we're gonna pull up on y'all. It's crazy because I tell this story with my Tulsa buddies even to this day. We're at Marshall playing the first time of the 2 matchups, right? And Ross, we're having our walkthrough in the morning, and Ross probably just got out of his class, and he normally has like this I guess this routine where he walks to the gym at a certain time. Well, he ended up walking through our shoot around, our walkthrough, and our coach stopped everything on a dime and brought it in and kind of mean mugged him the whole way out until he left the gym. And Ross didn't pick up his pace. He didn't have no sense of urgency. I don't know what kind of class he's getting out of, but it looked like he was trying to show us up, right?
Yeah.
he disrupted our walkthrough in preparation for them. And I get it. Everybody had a long night or whatever. But dang, the pace was like, I'm on a Sunday stroll, and I'm unbothered. Like I ain't worried about nothing. And so I remember our coach, it was like bulletin board material. Like I'm sure you got bulletin board material that you get your guys, right, Marcus?
Oh yeah, get them fired up.
So like that was like bulletin board material. So every time we played Marshall for the rest of the year, it was just like, can you believe that guy?
Yeah,
that was just my route though. Like I literally live right across the street from the gym, so that was and it's in Marshall. It's cold, and what is that? November? It's cold, snowing, everything. Like I'm trying to stay indoors. I'm walking through the gym to get back to my crib. I'm not speeding up for no one. That was my routine.
I ain't gonna lie. I think we played y'all in January, but I remember just getting out there. It just was one of the coldest places I had ever played. Even at that time, I was my first year of getting exposure to snow as a freshman.
Yeah.
First time seeing snow in Tulsa, but we had to fly in. Did we fly into Wheeling? We had to fly in somewhere. Then
probably flew into Charleston and then.
Charleston. Man, so I know what you mean, but man, you ruined our shoot around though.
That's great. Yeah. After Marshall, what happened after that, Chris? What'd you end up?
After Marshall, so my senior year, Uzoh knows how important it is for your coaches to have connections at the next level. So my senior year, right after the turn, we lose in a conference tournament. Next day he gets fired. Our conference tournament is in Memphis, and the next day we fly out back to West Virginia, and he gets fired. After that, didn't hear from him. Like this is in March. We still got March, April, May, 3 more months of school. We didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from him. We're just at school, like, and it's my senior year. I'm trying to see if I can get any type of workouts, any type of anything. Dude falls off the face of the planet. Like, didn't hear from any of the coaches. I was just kind of stuck out, like, didn't know what was going on.
It's crazy.
Luckily, I had some buddies that were playing overseas at the time, and then one of my teammates, he went on one of those, those athletes in action. It's like Ben. How can I describe athletes in action?
Is athletes in action? Is it like a tour?
Yeah, it's like a tour, but it's like some type of it has some type of it's like a Christian thing. It's like a Christian thing. Like Christian athletes get together and they tour. So one of my teammates had went on it, and they came to the Philippines, and he met one of my close friends now, and he was like, bro, when he came back and told me, man, they loved this dude when they were out in the Philippines. He had some Filipino blood in him. They loved him. He was like, man, you should get in contact with him and see about the league out there. So this was back when Facebook was just getting. This is how old this is. This is back when Facebook was just getting popular. Like,
Right.
Facebook was just getting started up. You had to have a college email to get on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I hit him up, and then he's like, "Yeah, bro, I played on the national team. I'm gonna start my career out in the Philippines." And I was like, "All right." He was like, "I'll give you some contacts you need." I got in contact with some people, but I had an offer in Finland. And then I had an offer in the Philippines. Just weighing my options, and the Philippine offer looked better because everything's guaranteed. Like with our contracts out here, especially trying to play as a local, getting your passport. As soon as you sign a contract, everything's guaranteed. Other than like if you go to Finland, the import, and you have a couple bad games, they can release you. And I found that out in the Philippines. It was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
I signed up. Actually, one of the teams in my league was training in San Antonio that year, and they were training at the Spurs facility. And I knew some guys that worked in the Spurs facility that they wanted to get some guys together to play 5-on-5 against this team.
Yeah.
So we played at Antioch. We were at Antioch playing against one of the teams, and then I'm telling some of the players, like, yo, I'm Filipino too. I'm trying to play out there. They're like, nah, you ain't Filipino, blah, blah, blah. So I start talking to the coach and the manager of the team, and he was like, all right, if you're Filipino, bring your mom to the game tomorrow. I think we played them for the weekend. So my mom talking to them, they're talking in Tagalog in their language, and so they get more information, and they kind of helped me come out the next year, because out here you have to go through a draft. Like you don't just it's not like direct hire. You have if you have blood and you got a passport, you have to go through a draft. And to play in the big league, you have to start it's like a semi-pro league. Mm-hmm. So I had to go through the semi-pro draft, play a year in that to get to the big league. So now, fast forward 10 years, I've been out here. I actually had a chance, like after my first contract, to come back and play in the D League with one of my assistant coaches at Marshall. He was a head coach with the 66ers. I think Uzoh knows him. Well, I think Uzoh had met him. He played with the Sixers. He was like, "Hey, Chris, if you want to come give the G League the D League a try, I have a spot for you." But there was for me, it was no point like try to chase the D League thing and make what $20,000 in a season when I was already established in my league and my contract was nice, and I just felt like I was going to take a few steps backwards to go here, try this out for $20,000 in a whole season, and then try to get back to where I was at. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm 10 years, going on 11. I'm 11 years now, and it's been great for me, man. Like I said, they treat me well. Basketball is everything in the Philippines. Like in most countries, it's soccer, right?
Yeah.
Most countries overseas is soccer, but in the Philippines, it's all basketball. Man, you can see in a flood and rain, they're outside playing basketball in slippers, barefoot. Like basketball is everything. Other than the two, maybe one day a year that Pacquiao fights, that Pacquiao has his fight.
Yeah.
It's basketball, but when Pacquiao fighting, the country shuts down. Everybody's indoors watching, and it shuts down for Pacquiao. It's all basketball. Say that again.
That's a big deal out there. I would imagine when a Pacquiao fight's going on.
Huge. When I tell you we have the worst traffic in the world, the Philippines has the worst traffic in the world. But when Pacquiao's fighting, everyone's indoors. Yeah. They show it in movie theaters. People just have like parties at their house, like, and imagine we're a 12-hour difference. So he's fighting at 9 at night in the States. It's on at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
People out ready, drinking beer, 7 in the morning. Like it's an event. It's an event, man. When I tell you it's an event, it's an event.
Hey, Ben, you
What's
played
good?
you played in the Olympics, right?
Yes, sir.
And your team, you guys working your way back to the next Olympics. Just talk a little bit about that experience. That's pretty amazing. I think that's big time, brother. Talk about your first experience and then moving into this next chapter.
Man, so for me personally, I was trying to I missed my first opportunity in 2012. I had a good opportunity to probably make that Olympic team, but I was man, I ain't gonna lie, I was trying to fight to be like a contract year. It was contract year in the NBA. I was trying to get on with the Raptors again that following season. And so I had to put myself first before the Olympics. And man, I missed a good opportunity to be a 2012. Told myself thereafter that I was going to join and be more committed to the national team, and then obviously try to just see how that would go, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know a lot of the guys on the team, and obviously from then to now, it's been probably things that I take pride in. But in 2015, we had an Afro Basket Championship, which we had to. If you went out right, you punch your ticket automatically to the Olympics. And I remember us just getting together in training camp. We had a coach named Will Voigt. I think, Ross, you know Will a little bit.
Yeah.
Good dude. He's an American coach, but we just tried to buy into a lot of philosophy on defense and offense. And the way the roster was set up, we were arguably probably one of the top defensive teams in the world, let alone Africa. And we just had a great opportunity to just really make history as far as winning our first Afro Basket Championship. A little history on Africa: the teams that are normally fighting to win or that control Africa year in year out is a country named Angola. And we had to take the throne from Angola, but there was also other countries that were really good. And I shed light. Tunisia, they got a couple high-level pros, and then they have also a guy who's played in the NBA, Salah Mejri. I think he's a guy that really controlled their team, and they were in our same side pool, and we actually lost to them in our pool play, but they took the top two out of each pool on both sides, and they put them on the other side. But Senegal is another team in Africa that's actually really good. They have high level pros, as well as a guy named Gorgie Ding who plays in the NBA, and we had to go through them. So 2015 to punch the ticket outright was no slouch. You got the people who run all over through Africa, Angola, and you got Senegal, who's a force to be reckoned with Gorgie Ding, and then you also have Tunisia, which is a force to be reckoned with Salah Mejri and their role guys, essentially. And we had pieced together a lot of our troops. We got Ike Diagu, who I'm here with right now. Shout out to Big Ike. We got Chief Al-Farouk Aminu, his brother Alade Aminu. We had a guy who recently retired, but man, he's no slouch. He's a guy that deserves a lot of praise. Shane Lawal, he was at the forefront as far as on the front line for us. But the list goes on and on, man. But we really just took care of business. There was our redemption year, which we themed it in 2015, and then we get to the Olympics in 2016, and we were able to be able to push more of Nigeria basketball to the world. Really, it's just being more respected. So it's something that I truly take great pride in.
And any word on Tokyo?
So Tokyo, man, that's a good question. So obviously we played in the World Games last year, and we had to now. I think we had to beat China
we had to beat China to punch our tickets to the Olympics that was supposed to be this summer. And we beat China in China, which was no joke. It was not an easy task, but it was one that we rallied around, and we were able to get it done, man. And to be able to be a potential 2-time, and Ike will be a potential 3-time Olympian, man, it's something that, man, it's a great feat that even I probably never dreamt about. I think when you're younger, you always dream about the NBA, but I don't think you understand what being an Olympian truly means. And just to even have that, just to, we even had that in the conversation is just something that I don't think you can sneeze at. But this summer, unfortunately, it was postponed, but definitely looking forward to next summer.
And that feeling, when you walk out as a team and all the teams are out, you walk out in that big stadium. I mean, what does that feel like? Man,
so I think you're referring to the walkthrough, right?
Yep.
It's something that, man, the opening ceremonies. Yeah, it's I still remember in 2016 we got bust down a little bit, just everybody just taking pictures. Everybody had their camera phones out and things like that. And try to savor that moment as best you can. So you walk out to your national anthem, and you got another country in front of you, another country behind you, and when they call your name, it's just, man, that you on a platform for the world to see. And you see it on TV, but when you're actually like living it, and then you got people texting you, yo, y'all see you, and it's like, yo, it's just it holds a different weight. It was surreal. It was surreal.
Let's talk a little bit real quick about any coaches you've had in your life that have made some positive impacts, even if it's not just basketball, just as a man in general.
I think there's a guy that Hoop Heads know in San Antonio that is very influential, but he's not on the scene, man. He's a low key, doesn't have any social media. With this wave of being able to like capitalize off the business grind of training and AAU teams and things of that nature, and in the city, he's a guy that he was just ahead of his time, and his name is Walter Kramer.
Okay.
He probably the most influential person out of the city that helped me and that molded me into a guy that who I am now. He trained with Antonio Daniels, and so when I first got, I heard, and I just tried, keep my ear as far as open, as far as like who was training with who and things like that, just like we all do, as far as like who comes before you and things of that nature. So I just I was able to get in on some of his workouts early with AD, and AD, the big brother to this day.
Absolutely.
But I started training with them in 8th grade, Coach Kramer, AD at the Spurs facility. And Ross, you remember Home Court America?
Yeah.
So Home Court America was a spot that AD would literally like have rented out like the first thing in the morning, Monday through Friday. And, we would like 8, probably 6 in the morning. No BS. AD's he's a freak. He would get up at 6 in the morning, and I was like in 8th grade, 9th grade, getting up with him at 6, 7 in the morning. And I had a couple occasions where we would work out, and I would able to pick Kramer's brain, pick AD's brain, and just kind of just go from there. But he would teach me about faith, teach me about scriptures and things like that as well. So he was a well-versed, well-rounded guy that very influential, probably the most influential person, as far as coaches is concerned.
Yeah, AD Coach Kramer's a great guy. AD's a great guy, and both good men. Good people to have in your corner. Especially coming up. What about you, Chris?
For me, it's a little different because I'm a little older. So back then, it was like we just hooped. We just played ball and had fun with it, right? There was no skills trainers. For me, like we kind of just – you're kind of a product of your own environment, right? So most of the guys that were at Jay before me were, I mean, a couple of them went to school, but it wasn't, they didn't really go. We had a lot of talent, but back then, big time schools weren't really coming down to San Antonio, right? Like, as far as they were stopping Houston and Dallas. So I would think, like, when I was in high school, Coach Hines was, he wasn't as connected, but he was knowledgeable in the fact of you have to do certain things if you want to get to certain places. And then I would say that junior year summer when I was around Jock and when I was around Black Buck and Smitty and those guys, that was really the first time I was able to, when they finally taught me, like, hey, if you really want to get to somewhere, this is what you got to do, and this is how hard you got to work. So I caught it late. Ben's a little younger than me. Ben caught it earlier than I did, but like I said, back then it was kind of, you just hoop to hoop, man. You just hoop to have fun, and if you're good enough to play in college, then maybe someone will find you. And,
right.
That's how
I think the direction, as far as like the guidance that if you're able to get it early on and have the right people in your corner, I think is very just entire panoramic view, right? San Antonio compared to like a Houston, Dallas, the culture is probably night and day. I think it's more so we're getting respect now as far as like doing it the right way, actually building a basketball culture. But, you know, coming from San Antonio, it's like you don't think basketball first. You just don't. Yeah. So to what Chris is saying is that training over just playing and just, all right, cardio and staying in shape it wasn't at the forefront as it is now. Everybody wants to train. Everybody wants to they understand the importance of eating right. You know, they're trying to align their ducks in a row, so to speak. You know what I mean? They're trying to have their ace card down as far as the best thing nutrition, the best skill trainer, the best place to go run and train and play pickup games in. They watching film and stuff like that, right? So the way it's kind of like evolved, even from Chris's time to my time to now, it's just night and day.
Do either one of you guys aspire to coach after y'all are done hooping?
I actually, the owner, I'm like really close with the owner of my team. And he wants me to get into coaching. He wants me to coach he has 3 teams in our league, and he wants me to get into coaching right when I'm done. So I'm thinking about it. It's going to be a tough decision because, like I said, a lot of my family's in the States. And I've been away for 11 years already, and I haven't been able to see my nephews and my niece grow up. And I don't have a family myself, so it's been tough to kind of watch that from afar. So it's gonna be a tough decision for me to make. I mean, obviously I would love to do it, and it would be great on my resume if I were able to put that professional coach on my resume. And I brought it back to the States with me, but I mean, I would love to stay connected to the game somehow. And I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to give, a lot of knowledge that I've acquired over the years of just learning how to play the game and being a professional and being a good person, that I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't get into coaching.
What about you, Ben?
Man, for me, I had an opportunity to get a coaching type position on my resume last year. I had been dealing with a health issue that I took some time to away from the game, and as I took some time away, an opportunity that I was working on and working towards, it kind of just lined up perfectly. So I coached last year in the G League underneath the Chicago Bulls umbrella with the Windy City Bulls, and I was a legitimate assistant coach.
Nice.
I had 13 scouts and watching film and breaking down individual film for certain guys in our team, and it was one of those things that
I never thought I would do. I never thought about coaching. Period. You know what I mean? I would think most players, you want to just play as long as you can, right? And you don't even think about things until you got to think about them. So I think that's kind of how it was for me. It's something that I know I can do, and it's something that I guess even Chris could share. Like, from a point guard standpoint, you just see so much, and you don't realize how much that translates into coaching, and how having the ability to teach and understand all 5 positions and team management and egos and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I think taking that opportunity last year was something that I'm just like, it was eye-opening for me. I surprised myself. And as I continue to grow into this, like a young or a leader, I just know that it's something that I could lead. So I could lead a group of men for sure one day if the right opportunity and presented itself.
I was going to bring that point up too about both of y'all being at the point guard position, and just knowing you guys and watching you play over the years, and watching you play in person or online or whatever. You can just tell that you're understanding the game is at another level, especially running that point guard spot, because you gotta run the show, right, for your team, and so that definitely does translate well, especially y'all's demeanor and y'all's the way you carry yourself and the way you present things. I mean, I think you two would be great.
Yeah, you got to be an extension of the. As a point guard, you're an extension of the coach already. So, especially like with my role right now, like pretty much my coach gives me free reins. Like, I never have to look at the bench for a play call. I make all the play calls. I put people in position to be successful. So, it's been great, man. Like the last, I would say, 5-6 years have been like that, where I've been making all the calls, and he has no complaints about it, and it's been good, man. I mean, obviously it's a whole different beast, and you have to sit on the sidelines and be the coach, be the leader of men. But I feel like I got a pretty good head start.
Good. No, Ben's out. Let's talk real quick. Give me your top 5 NBA or top 5 players of all time. Just top of your head. Top 5.
In order or no order?
No order, not by position, just top 5 of all time.
Well, I didn't get when I do these lists, I go by people that I've seen play.
True, I got you.
I can't put like Will and Bill Russell because I never saw them play, right?
Yeah.
Even Matt, I only saw like the tail end of Magic, so I couldn't even put Magic in there. So. Jordan, obviously. LeBron, obviously. Shaq, obviously. Tim Duncan. And that 5th. Man. I'll give Uzoh some love and throw Hakeem in there.
Hakeem was cold though. I love Hakeem.
I'll throw the Dream in there. So those would be my 5. But my favorite player of all time is Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. Oh, Penny's nice.
If he never got hurt, he would.
Oh, yeah. Penny, you feel bad for guys like Penny or Grant and some guys that T-Mac, even Tracy. I mean, Tracy had a good career, but he still wasn't the same after his injuries.
Brandon Roy.
They just showed the highlight today on Twitter when he took over that 4th quarter after coming back from injury against Dallas. Oh man, I saw it live, and then watching it today this morning, it gave me goosebumps because that was just incredible. To me, that was incredible. Like,
oh, hold on, how can I not put Kobe in there? Did I say Kobe?
Yeah, but no, you did not. But I wasn't going to influence your decision.
No, Kobe got to be in there too. Yeah, it got to be 6.
Okay, we'll go 6 deep. 6 deep.
Got to be 6.
And I think that Brandon Roy performance was great. And then, like when I was a kid, I saw that Reggie Miller deal when he went off against the Knicks at the end and scored like 8 points in whatever seconds. And that just lit a fire. So I just went outside and shot like for the next 17 hours and just shoot. I mean, it's I don't know if kids do that anymore, but I mean, whenever I would see stuff like that, the first thing I did was grab the ball and take my butt outside. You know,
Yeah.
try to recreate that stuff.
Right.
Now I'm a little bit of a shoe head, right? But you're like on another planet with that stuff. Like, what's the deal with that? You just fell in love with shoes at a young age, or?
My like I said, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of three, and we lived on base. And you know, on base the shoes are just a little bit cheaper, no taxes. So growing up, my dad would always try to give me whatever shoes I wanted. And I think my brother had an influence on that. He was a little older than I was, but I remember the first shoes that I really wanted was a pair of Shaqs. When Shaq was with Reebok, I think it was like 90, maybe 92.
Shaqnosis? No, not those.
No, it was like his first ones when he was with. They were black and blue, and I remember because I wanted them so bad. My dad got them for me. And then I wore black socks because that was when Fab 5 was just coming out. Fab 5 had just came out. And I wore black socks. And ever since then, like, I just been a shoe head. I had Shaqs. Like, those are as far back as I can remember, I remember getting the Shaqs. And then I remember Kevin Johnson had a pair of Converse. I had those. And then after that, I kind of just turned over to Jordan.
Yeah.
And my dad would try to get me 1 or 2 pair of Jordans per year, like, one for the beginning of the school year, and then one for basketball season, and then maybe one for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I was for sure getting 3 pair of shoes every year, and ever since then, I just fell in love with shoes, man. And it's easier now that, like, I have a Nike deal out here in the Philippines, so they give me way more shoes than I can deal with. Like, I think the last pickup I had, they sent me like maybe close to 30 pair of shoes, 25 pair of shoes. And it was just, I had nowhere to put them in my house. Like, I just put it outside my room. Like, it was just a stack of boxes outside my room. And so it makes it a lot easier now to write. Like, if I buy a pair of shoes, it will be a pair that I really want.
You want?
Yeah. I mean, they give me way too much stuff to even. Like, I have a small shoe size, so I wear 10.5 of that. So nobody I know wears my shoe size, or else I'll be giving them out to all my homies.
Yeah. We get left out the picture, Ben. What size you wear, Ben? 14, 13?
I'm a 14, man. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm my foot just kept growing for some reason. Or else I take some shoes off your hands, Ross, for real.
I'm a 14. I'm not even as tall as Ben, but I'm still a 14. Tough for us, Chris. You don't know what it's like.
I think my feet stopped growing when I was a junior in high school. I was wearing an 11.5, and then after high school, I just wanted my shoes to be tighter and tighter and tighter.
Interesting. All right, so then who's got the best line? I guess just this is more of a personal favorite. You got Jordan line, you got the Kobe line, you got the LeBron line, and then you got the penny line. Out of those 4 series of shoes, who would you say is your favorite? And this for both of you.
Oh,
I'm a Jordan guy. I got all the Jordans. I play in Jordans. People always ask me, like, how do you play in these retro Jordans? Like, it's just what I'm used to. I've been playing them my whole life. So I'm a Jordan guy, and then after Jordan, I'm a penny guy. So
I'm a Jordan guy. Like, I'm a Jordan guy, so I'll be able to do a Ross on that. I'm a Jordan guy. He just, his shoes are just a staple of just, and I feel like they're not going anywhere. He's arguably the greatest player to ever play, but then his shoes kind of speak for itself. And then if I had to say, I probably I'll take LeBron over Penny as far as like close second.
Because who's never saw Penny play? That's why. Young boy.
I did see Penny play. I seen Orlando Penny play actually. I like his shoes, the half sense. I like a lot of his shoes, but I just feel like he may have only like a couple pair, but Bron got some heat, man. And I just feel like just the longevity of it, his shoe line. But Penny's his aren't going anywhere for a reason. They came back out for a reason. Like he was really a problem.
You're right. Yeah. But Penny's only go so many deep, right? As far as
I think he's only up to like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
5. He's up to 5.
And the real popular ones are only the, I guess the first few. So I guess that's what Ben's trying to say. LeBron's on like, what number is he on? Like 20 already? What pair is LeBron
16 or 17.
17, yeah.
That's crazy.
The first ones alone are just.
I got 3 pair of them. I got 3 pair of them.
The black and white ones?
I got the black and white ones. I got the tan ones, and I got the white and red ones.
Man,
black and white are
the number 7 LeBron, the green St. Vincent St. Mary's with the gold laces. Those are so sick, and they're perfect for my school colors. And the only place I can find them, I'm not paying $2,000 for a pair of shoes, so I'm like, I'm just gonna chalk these up to a loss. I'm never gonna get these. Those are probably my favorite looking LeBrons. Those are nice.
My out here in the Philippines, his high school teammate Romeo Travis.
Uh-huh.
He plays out here in the Philippines. He's been here maybe 3 times, and on his IG, sometimes he'll just post like some random LeBrons in his closet. I'm like, man, I'll message him like, man, you cheating, bro. Like, you the only one who got access to that.
Yeah. That's not fair.
That's a dope feeling.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Ben, I remember you telling me a story back we were hooping at McCullum one day about you got the starting nod at Toronto one night. You're playing against, I guess, Miami. And
you
had to switch up on LeBron. He switched up on you to pick you up with the rock. What was that like?
I think that was like my second time playing against him. Like I had my first time in Jersey, I played against him, but it was probably like the last minute or 2 of the game. Like I didn't see a lot of time my rookie year, but it's my second year I was fortunate enough to play. We was down a lot of bodies, but man, we had a 1-3 pick and roll play that we would run with like me and whoever, right? And LeBron was guarding the 3, but they would switch 1 through 3. And he literally switched on to me, and I'm at the top of the key now. And I remember him just getting in his defensive stance. And I was just like, how is he just spread out like this? And I just never saw, I never knew he was that I didn't know he was that, he's literally like 6'9", but homie covered a lot of ground, Marcus. Like, you feel me? So I didn't realize it. He's a specimen, bro.
Absolutely.
He's a specimen.
Probably one of the greatest athletes to ever walk the face of this planet.
Ever. Hands down. Another, he could play football.
Oh, LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people tell me who's the greatest, I know the answer is Jordan, but I want to say LeBron just because we're in the same class. We graduated the same class. So
yeah.
I always want that, like, the greatest player ever was in my class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That also means we're getting old, Chris.
Say it again?
It also means we're getting old.
Woof. I can feel it too.
I be trying not to feel it.
What you guys are doing, from San Antonio, you guys played high school ball here, grew up here, and to go out there and see the world, travel the world through the game. I mean, I don't think you realize what that means to a lot of the kids and the youth that are around here and watching this stuff and playing in the Olympics and, winning championships in the Philippines and just doing what you're doing. It's quite the feat. So much respect to you guys. I got nothing but love and respect for you two. And the way you carry yourself off the floor, as professionals, I mean, that speaks volumes. Because a lot of pros out there, but not everybody carries themselves a certain way. And I think that speaks volumes to the kids out there for sure.
Appreciate it.
No doubt. I think it's dope when I am in town, and I've had the opportunity to mentor a couple of kids that have gone on either, have good high school careers or in transition, or they've had successful college careers in transition. But I think just knowing that the reach and the influence, because, you don't realize it. You don't set out to do those things initially, right? Then as you get older, you almost like you take responsibility of like knowing who's who or how somebody's doing, or trying to just understand, like, even though I'm not around, it's still all love in certain, in certain capacities, right? Just around the city. And like I said, the game is growing. The kids are coming out of San Antonio more consistently, more often. So it's only right for them to understand, like, who came before them. And so, it's just dope to see the evolution continue to take place. I was looking up the Raws. The shot he hit to win state, I'm like, man, I felt a part of that. You know what I mean? So it was it's all for the betterment of the whole San Antonio hoop culture, man, because they sleep on us, and I feel like we're getting better and doing it the right way at that. So
yeah.
Picking off what Uzoh is saying, like, I've kind of came out my box a little bit as far as social media goes, reaching out to more of these younger guys that are in the city and trying to do things for themselves out, like, in the college level, and trying to branch out, because, like, for me, back then I didn't have that. Like, I couldn't talk to someone that went through what I was trying to go through. So for me, I've been trying to reach out to more and more younger guys, just to give them an outlet to, if they want to ask me questions and whatnot, then I can be that outlet for them. Because, I mean, a lot of the times, like, you got their parents pushing them and whatnot, but they don't really want to hear it from their parents all the time. They want to hear it from someone else. So I try to be that outlet for guys. Now, I'm getting better at it as far as reaching out to guys and finding guys on social media, and try to be that outlet for some of the younger guys.
It's important.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
these guys see you guys have been there, been through it, and had success. So your opinions and your advice, it carries a lot of weight.
Yeah. I mean,
Like Chris said, getting out of his box. I'm doing that. Learning to do that myself. Because it's important. It's important, and it's something that if you can help, man. If I think somebody told me this the other day. Like, the blessing is to be able to be a blessing to somebody. So in a time of need, or in a time of, like, adjustment for somebody, to be able to give back words, it don't have to necessarily be financially, just time, you know what I mean? Yep. And sacrificing, like, a bit of advice to somebody. So yep. It's like so I'm trying to understand that responsibility a little bit better now, as opposed to maybe a couple years ago. Dang, so he's the next one, or he got potential. Man, it's just dope to hear that. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody that's got their hand helping these kids continue to evolve and come out the tone. It's definitely dope to see.
Absolutely. Before we call it a day, you guys are, both on social media, and we see everything that's going on in our country as far as racism goes. Without getting too deep into it, the problem and stuff, but more so, what do you feel is the importance? I've seen you guys using your platform to kind of speak out a little bit. So just talk a little bit about the importance of utilizing that platform. And I know, Chris, you wrote a real powerful message through a letter, things of that nature. Just talk about that importance of being able to utilize that platform.
For me, a lot of the things I'm just getting educated on myself, because, I mean, these aren't things that we're taught in history class in school growing up, right? Yeah. So for me, is just trying to get as much knowledge out as possible, because if you can just affect one person, you're doing your job. And hopefully that one person turns to two turns to four, and so on and so forth. It's just trying to reach out and spread the word and try to affect as many people as possible, because I feel like it's been so long that people have been oppressed, and the way the system is broken, or the way the system is built for people, for non-white people to not succeed. I feel like change is coming soon, and as long as more people are educated on the fact, and more people are speaking on it, and more people are just hearing other people's side of the story, and I think that only good can come out of it. So, like I said, for me, I'm usually been probably the same way. I'm usually a guy that keeps to myself and tries to stay in as much as a bubble as I can. But if you have a platform and you can use it for something positive like this, then why not? Why not try to affect one person or two people or three people? It'll only be good for society, and I'll continue to do it as long as I can, and hopefully change is coming soon.
Right, man. Like Ross said, like it's been years of oppression that we weren't witness, but it's like, man, what we witnessed last month was something that was just really heavy. So if you have a heart, you definitely understand to the capacity of the kind of light that's being shed in the country as a whole right now. So if you're an influencer, or you're a guy or a lady that has a platform, man, please use it. And I'm really low key in all these things, but man, I have to do something in a sense of at least doing my part to bring people that understand. Oz, what you think about this? Well, this is what I think about it, in my own way of showing support to just doing the right thing. You get what I'm saying? So it's been a heavy time, but man, we got to continue. All of us to continue to go the extra mile, time and time again.
Most definitely. Well, guys, I appreciate your insight, and I appreciate you guys taking some time out. I know, Ben, you're traveling all over the place, and you guys are a little busy. So the fact that you took some time out to talk, about your journey and about your life and hoops, I'm grateful. Two of the most humble guys I've ever met, through this hoop stuff, and you represent the city well. So much love and much respect.
Appreciate you having us, man.
Appreciate it, Mark.
No problem. You guys be safe. You take care of yourselves, and if y'all need something, hit me up.
Yep, you too.
My guy. All right, Ross.
Yep, be easy.